Somewhere in your life, there is a person you have stopped speaking to. You told yourself the silence was temporary. It usually isn't. Silence hardens into a wall. And on a cold January night in 2006, one of the greatest basketball players who ever lived stood behind a wall exactly like that one, surrounded by teammates he barely spoke to, and did something so impossible that people still argue about it today. 81 points. One man. One game. But the real story of that night is not about basketball, it is about what silence does to the human brain. Kobe Bryant entered the NBA in 1996 at 17 years old. He told everyone he would become the greatest ever. They laughed. He did not. By 2002, he had 3 championship rings and a teammate named Shaquille O'Neal. He also had a problem. Kobe and Shaq could not stand each other. 2 alpha egos. 1 basketball. How do you think that ends? By 2004, it was over. Shaq was traded to Miami. Coach Phil Jackson walked away and wrote a book calling Kobe Uncoachable. The roster was stripped for parts. Kobe finally had a team of his own. One problem. The team was terrible. The Lakers missed the playoffs. Then the front office surrounded him with cast-offs. The point guard was Smush Parker, an undrafted journeyman on a minimum contract. The center was Kwame Brown, one of the biggest draft busts in history. Kobe looked around that locker room and made a decision. Most of these men were not worth talking to. That is not an exaggeration. Smush Parker later told the story himself. He tried making small talk one morning, and Kobe told him he could not talk to him. He said Smush needed more accolades to earn a conversation. These men passed each other a basketball for a living, and one had decided the other did not exist. Kobe never denied it. Years later, he called Smush the worst player in the league. The silence was not an accident. It was a verdict. Here is where this becomes a story about you. A psychologist named Kipling Williams at Purdue spent his career studying ostracism. He built an experiment called Cyberball, a simple game of catch where the other players suddenly stop throwing you the ball. No insults, just exclusion. It wounds people every time, even when they know the other players are just a computer. Why? Because for most of human history, exclusion meant death. Alone, you starved. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA scanned people's brains during that same game. When the ball stopped coming, the same brain region that processes physical pain lit up. Being frozen out and being hurt overlap inside your skull. Williams found that ostracism attacks 4 needs at once: belonging, self-esteem, control, and the feeling that you matter at all. The silent treatment is not the absence of communication, it is a weapon. But here is the twist. Kobe was drowning in silence too. Fans blamed him for destroying a dynasty. His old coach gave up on him in print. So what do you do when the world goes quiet on you? Most people crumble. Kobe converted the silence into fuel. His workout started at 4 in the morning. He counted shots made, not shots taken, and would not leave the gym until he hit hundreds. Psychologist Anders Ericsson, whose research on elite performers defined the science of expertise, called this deliberate practice focused, painful, solitary refinement. Solitary is the key word. The wall that kept everyone out also locked him inside the gym. In December 2005, he scored 62 points in 3 quarters against Dallas, outscoring their entire team 62-61. The world thought that was the peak. It was not. January 22, 2006, the Toronto Raptors led the Lakers by 18. Kobe's teammates could not buy a basket. So the man who would not speak ended the conversation. 27 points in the third quarter, 28 in the fourth, 55 in one half. Final total, 81. Second only to Wilt Chamberlain's 100. And here is what everyone forgets. The teammates he froze out were on their feet screaming for him, mobbing him, hugging him. The man behind the wall looked almost confused by the love. So the silence worked, right? Careful. Those Lakers won nothing. They collapsed in the playoffs 2 years straight. Williams' research shows ostracism damages the giver too, corroding the trust every team is built on. Kobe did not win again until he learned to let people in, to talk, to mentor. He even reconciled with Shaq. The man who demanded accolades before conversation spent his final years giving conversation away for free. You will probably never score 81 points, but you have a wall somewhere. And now you know what that silence is doing, to them and to you. Silence can be rocket fuel, but rocket fuel burns everything it touches. Somewhere in your life, there is a person you have stopped speaking to. Now you know what that silence is made of. The only question is what you build with it.